Days ago, I have someone that I followed. I'm not sure exactly, like I don't really remember who's the one. Hold on, let me bring some light up on this bitch. Is this more light? Someone mentioned, and they posted something on their story, and you know how sometimes people put their dots and stuff. Someone put something about their story, something along the lines of that they've been off of Instagram for a while because they noticed that Instagram triggers them and they can no longer be on it, or they feel like they were just pretty much saying like it's okay to disconnect from social media and stuff like that because it's triggering. And when I first read it, I was like, how is it triggering? You know, like I don't, like how is it triggering? And the reason that I'm saying that is because I suffer from anxiety and like phobias and stuff like that too. So that's what I like automatically thought of, was like a trigger like for that. And I was like, like usually when I have anxiety or something, I try to go on my phone and like fucking like distract myself. So I was like, I don't get why it's triggering. So then later on, I don't know if she like posted it like after, but pretty much she was saying something about that it was triggering because she's trying to lose weight, and she goes on Instagram and sees all these bodies and people losing weight and people that are younger than her and thinner and like stuff like that. And then I actually really thought about it, and I'm like, dude, that's true. Instagram is triggering. Although it might not be triggering for everyone the same, I'm sure for every single person it's triggering in their own way. So I started thinking, and I was like, dude, how is it triggering for me? And I was like, okay, remember how I made that video where I was like, oh, you guys, like I see people like having houses and blah blah blah. So in that aspect, for me, technically it's triggering for that. Now this is not something where I'm like, oh, I go on it and I wish it was me. Like I just want to formally say that I do not want to be anybody else but myself. So I'm not triggered by that. So I'm not triggered because, oh, I want to be like her, I want to be like this. Like I don't want to be anybody else but myself. I don't want to be like anything. So that's not what's triggering. What's triggering to me, what I've told you guys before, is when I see people with their careers or getting promoted or getting houses and getting married and like things like that. Because then I feel like, dude, like we're the same age and you already got a house, or you already have, you know, your degree is going great, and mine, I'm struggling, or I was struggling, or whatever. So to me, in those cases, it is triggering. And now that I look back at that video, that's probably what I meant. Like I see people doing things. So on Instagram, you guys, obviously people do not put their lows. Like they put a lot of their highs and, you know, things like that. And sometimes people like exaggerate sometimes, or it's portrayed a certain way. So it's not always like what we think, but when we're, maybe if we're feeling down in the moment, or we're bored in something and we're scrolling down and you're seeing so many people living their life, flying, doing all these things that maybe potentially you're not doing, or you feel like you're behind. And I feel like a lot of you guys will be able to relate. So for example, like the person that I saw, I wish I could remember who wrote that, but I don't remember because I just like didn't bother it. Like I didn't pay attention to it. And then later, after I thought about it, I'm like, what does she mean by that? And I even told my boyfriend about it. Like I was talking to him about it, and he was like, yeah, I can see what you're saying. So yeah, I guess this is just kind of like an open discussion to see if you guys feel like Instagram is triggering, or what do you guys think about Instagram. Now again, I don't want to be anybody else but myself. The only thing that gets me personally is just when I see people like being successful in their careers, or you know, doing something that they love, or getting promoted and getting a house right now, because that is me and my boyfriend's ultimate goal, like to get a house, like our own house. At the moment we're just renting, and so yeah, like we want to get our own house, and that's like my biggest goal right now. I do want to get married and everything, but I feel like I found the right person, and when the time is right, it's gonna happen. So it's not something that I'm stressing over. Maybe there's people that are maybe my age. I'm only 28. Like we're not like we're older or anything, but I'm just saying, like you see a lot of people, like a lot of my classmates are starting to get married right now, and I see a lot of people that are married and stuff, and that doesn't trigger me. I do want it, but it doesn't trigger me. I think it's more so the careers and the houses thing, because that's what I want right now. Does that make sense? So I could see if somebody else that has maybe trying to lose weight or change their body, or doesn't like certain parts of their body, I can see how it can be very triggering. Now I don't really think about it that way, because I'm okay with my body, I'm happy with my body, I've came to terms with my body. But what I will say, one thing is that sometimes like my boyfriend, like I'll see my body in the mirror and not like it and stuff, and I tell my boyfriend, babe, take a picture, and like I want to have a picture and I want my body to look how I imagine it. And sometimes he takes the picture and I'm like, what the fuck, I look fucking straight, or I look like a little girl or a little body and stuff like that. So sometimes like that makes me feel a certain way, and I feel like, well, I don't want to post it because I look ugly and I don't like my body. So I can see how it can happen in everyone, but I'm just saying maybe some people are self-conscious with maybe like how their lips, and you see so many people getting it. I see girls that are so young, they're getting Botox and stuff. Like, you don't need to have that at 17 or 20 or 21. Like, let yourself age gracefully. Like, I'm 28, I've never had any work done to me, to be honest, besides the fact that I wear makeup and like do my hair and shit, but I've never had any work done to me. I don't feed into like peer pressure, and I'm not weak when it comes to that kind of stuff. So it's never been a question to me like, oh damn, I really want, like I've never tried to look into it like serious. Well, I guess I just want to know what you guys are triggered by, or what triggers you on Instagram. I know a lot of people are also triggered by people just doing more things in life. Like, for example, like if there's like a 19-year-old and she's like flying and has her own lash company and like all this shit, like sometimes I think about it like that, but not like, oh, I want to be her. Like, no, I just think like, fuck, like I'm 28 and I don't like, kind of like the career thing again. So that's mostly mine. I know a lot of people are triggered by relationships because they see certain relationships aren't always what they seem. I don't like to post my relationship because my relationship is actually what it seems, but I don't want to post it because it's like I'm just living in it and I'm super happy with it, and I don't want to jinx my relationship. I don't want to be like super drama or anything, like, so that's why I like protect my relationship. I never like talk about it really unless it's something funny or something, and that's why I don't really share with you guys like anything with my boyfriend or us or anything, because that's something that I like really not protect, but I take care of it. And there's no point of having it like out there, to be honest. But I know there's a lot of people that want to find that true love, especially if you're dating like a dick and shit. And I get that, you know, and like I've been heartbroken before, and a lot of people that maybe are seeing that, you know, they're getting married and maybe you're single as fuck and you're like, fuck, like, you know. So I guess I just want to ask you guys like what it is that triggers you, and what do you do with it, and how do you cope with it and stuff. So pretty much for me, I try to stay off Instagram, like, unless I don't like to be on Instagram all the time, just because it actually really wastes your fucking time. And it's crazy because you could be doing so much more, but you're not, because you're on fucking Instagram. So yeah, but sometimes it motivates me to be like, oh, what the fuck am I doing on Instagram? Let me get the fuck off and start doing shit with my life. And honestly, I think for me, the thing that helps the most is to just understand solely like that things happen the way they're supposed to, at their timing and stuff like that, and everything happens for a reason. And I don't know why I don't like completely remember that, because I'm such that person that believes in that, especially when it comes to love. I feel like I always think like what's meant to be will meant to happen, or, you know, some people like to not worry so much about it because everything will happen how it's supposed to. And I truly believe in that. But when it comes to like getting things that I want like super, I don't know how to explain it, but like that does make me feel better. Like, okay bitch, like yeah, but their life's different, or, you know, they have it differently, or maybe they're doing this now but then later on they're not gonna be as successful, or maybe, you know, like whatever it is, like. But what I mean is that it's not gonna be the same for everyone, and no matter what, everything's happening for a reason. It's teaching you. And maybe like I've even seen some things that happen to me where I see like certain things have led me up to like a moment, or like, you know, a certain time for me to do what I need to do. So yeah, I would suggest doing that. Also try to keep off of Instagram, or if you feel like you follow someone and you kind of just feel like envy a lot of times, then just fucking unfollow them. Like, try to follow people that inspire me, or that are my friends or family, and that inspire me mostly. Like, I use Instagram more for like an inspiration. My boyfriend uses it more for like sports and like comedies and funny shit. I use it for inspiration mostly, and to kind of connect with people. But yeah, I do want to do kind of like an update video on you guys in regards to my career path and stuff like that right now, because it has changed. If you enjoy this video, I know it's like doesn't really have a purpose, but just the purpose of us kind of like talking about it and stuff like that and seeing your input. Or maybe you've never even thought about it. Like I said, when I read it, I was like, how is it triggering? Like, how is it triggering? But then I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, it's fucking triggering. I'm sure to every single person in different ways. Like even people that seem so successful and they're doing all these things, I'm sure it's triggering to a certain extent. Maybe they feel like they have to compete with another person and reach this big expectation. Like I don't want to be like famous like that, or like insta famous, because I feel like people hold you up so high to be like a role model, and I'm not trying to be a fucking role model. I'm not trying to be nobody's role model. I'm not trying to be nothing. And a lot of people try to be role models and then they realize like, oh shit, like I'm a fucking human, and they beat you down when you don't, like, you know what I mean? So a lot of people trying to be Captain Save-A-Hoes and shit. Like I'm just the way I am. I talk to you guys and like kind of like to tell you, because I feel like a lot of you guys actually listen. And I don't know, like YouTube used to be all about like kind of like actually building a bond. If you guys enjoyed this video, I know it's super random, but yeah, if you guys have any commentary or any videos that you would like me to do, I am thinking about doing another story time, but I don't know what the fuck story time I could do. Like I feel like it'll be so much funner if like my friend, or if I had another person to interact with. I've thought about having my friend and me like record, but I don't know if that bitch is gonna want to, because she's fucking acts all awkward and shit. But anyways, yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.